is talking, Mary. The tree is talking.
Tree? I am no tree. I am an ant. Treebeard, some call me.
Tree herder. A shepherd of the forest.
Don't talk to it, Mary. Don't encourage it.
Hey folks, Dave here, and welcome to my studio. This week's project is all about Treebeard. Treebeard is one of my favorite characters from one of my favorite series. So when I saw this guy online, I knew that I had to download him and 3D print him and make a image out of him. As always, my goal here is not to come up with awesome models, although I often do these days. The goal is to make these awesome models into really outstanding miniature photos. And so my first step is to get Treebeard here painted up and ready for the camera. I've started by painting him in this dark earth shade all over, just to give a base coat for the whole paint job. And the rest of my strategy for painting this guy is just to add some natural reds and some browns and some grays, just to bring up all the highlights and all the details, and add a little bit of green to the leaves and stuff that are growing out of them, probably a little bit of moss as well. One of the things I'm going to try to do is incorporate some real life elements. My theory is that real life elements on models, especially models of the larger size like this one is, they look more natural than trying to fake it, assuming the scaling works, and I think it will work here. So I'm going to try to use natural elements. One of those that I'm going to try to do is this moss that I found on this stick here while I was going for my daily walk. We were just sitting on the path in front of me, and I saw all this moss growing off of it. I have no idea what type of moss it is, or even if it is moss, but whatever this stuff was growing off of it, it was like long and stringy, and the first thing that came to mind was that could be part of Treebeard's beard. So I'm going to try to incorporate some of this into his beard to give it from a plastic modeled look into something that's a little bit more natural and realistic. I don't know if this is going to work. This is the first time I'm trying this, especially when it comes to facial hair like that. At least I have a model to work by, right, with the facial hair. But it's the first time I'm going to try it in a model, so I don't know if it's going to work. I'm really just half-assing this thing to no end. But let's half-ass this together, shall we? So I'm going to get started painting up Treebeard here and get him ready for camera. Let's get to it. there you go. One finished Treebeard model. And if I do say so myself, I'm kind of pleased with how it looks. The paint job with the wood, I think, turned out okay. I'm still learning. As you know, I'm not like a long-term experienced painter. I am half-assing this as I go, but in this time, half an ass was enough. I think it turned out great. Put some extra flocking for a little bit of extra moss, and I used some actual lichen. The beard here, I think, turned out spectacularly well. That was the part I was most worried about. I figured it was either going to look like complete garbage or it was going to look fantastic. And it seems to be trending towards fantastic, which is great. I did some Googling, and I'm pretty sure that what I used in the beard here is not actually moss, but something called Dixie reindeer lichen. Which grows naturally here in North Carolina, where I'm currently based. It's either that or it is Spanish moss. It's hard to tell. I'm not really a plantologist guy, but I'm pretty sure from the photos that this is Dixie reindeer lichen for the beard. So if you're looking to make your own Treebeard model, I would see if you can locate some of that stuff, because I think it looks pretty good. Now the next steps is to find a way to shoot this guy. That is the goal of all my models, is to not just to have something pretty to put on a shelf, but to have something pretty to put in front of a camera lens and make some kick-ass photos with. And I'm not exactly sure how I'm going to tackle making that with Treebeard here. He needs to be in a forest scene, and to build a forest of like a rugged old forest in my studio as a big diorama is a daunting task right now, and I'm not really sure I'm up for it at the current moment. So I may have to take him outside somewhere, find some maybe old scrub brush that looks like trees that will scale up properly for his look, so he's in that rugged old forest setting. But one thing I will do is take this guy back to my studio and take him like a portrait shot, kind of just like right in here of the face and the beard, maybe with some dramatic lights and a little bit of fog, because I like dramatic lights and fog. And I just want to kind of get the texture of his beard and put that in front of the camera just to see how that looks, because I've never done this before, and I think if that looks great, then the payoff is going to be complete. So I'm going to get to that, and by bringing this guy over to my studio and start taking some photos. Let's get to it. Alrighty, one successful photo and one project complete. I think it all turned out fairly well, better than I expected actually. The model looks really good. The experimentation with the vegetation I think really paid off with all the textures in that final image, and I'm just going to call this one job done. Now before I go, I need to do a little bit of shameless self-promotion and hawk my book. This is called From a Certain Point of View, A Guide to Miniature Photography, and it has all my knowledge and information from about 15 years of doing toy photography and miniature photography, and how to do everything from ideas to how to light it, how to build scenes, how to frame scenes, how to finish them off, how to add special effects like the mist, like in this photo. So if you're interested in doing this stuff for yourself, I highly recommend you pick up this book. It'll help me out. Links below, and it's on Amazon.com. So that's it for shameless self-promotion. And I want to thank you for watching, and I really do appreciate your time and watching me do what I do. If you like what you see here, please hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you next time. Cheers.